booties for black girl nerds.
What's up, Jamie?
Hi.
Hey, hi, how are you guys doing?
I'm good. Very well.
Good. Well, listen, I'm so excited for this film. We here, Black Girl Nerds, are really geeked out for Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. And starting with you, Steven, Rise of the Beasts, obviously the Transformers is a time-honored franchise. And we're going to see our Transformers back, who we know and love, but also there's going to be some new groups that we'll see as well. So what can fans expect as far as surprises go that's going to be a little bit different in this new film?
Well, if they expect it, it won't necessarily be a full surprise, but I think
Okay. Yeah, true.
that's a tricky one. But I think we are definitely expecting Primal, right? Who's without going into the plot as well, but we know where his backstory a little bit from Beast Wars, and we get a little bit of that, and we get a hint of that. But I think what's going to be different is, they're not buddy at the jump. We see the origin story. We see how they unite, and I think that's pretty cool to the franchise. And that goes for all the new characters. We find Optimus Prime in a new place and a new mindset with a different perspective. I think we all know him as like, I'm gonna protect Earth. And now he starts off differently. He's like, I'm stuck here. I'm trying to get back home. Like, who are these humans? And so we see the growth in who Optimus Prime becomes while introducing new characters like Optimus Primal, who might be more of a vet when it comes to humanity and understanding the global sort of threats and how we need to work together to all are one. So that'll probably be the biggest surprise when people watch the film, is like how the characters enter the film and how they come out on the other side.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Anthony, for you, I read that you were a big fan of the Beast Wars story, and that franchise was something that you obviously were a big fan of before getting onto this project. So what was it about the Beast Wars franchise that was appealing to you as a fan?
I mean, just it was on regular TV first and foremost. Channel 13, so I got to watch Beast Wars I think it was Saturday or Sunday it came on. I waited every week to watch it. And Cheetor was my favorite character. Primal was always the man, but and Rhinox, and I used to buy the toys. I go to Toys R Us, and my mom, she could only afford one, and I get one toy. I can't remember which one it was. I bought the Aqua one. He's a Stingray, and he transforms. I can't remember his name right now, but, I remember he was Aqua Blue and silver. And I remember my babysitter took that toy away, and I was mad. I forget. but like that. I grew up watching Beast Wars and watching Transformers. So when I was blessed with the opportunity to do this film, and Steven was like, yeah, we got all these new elements. We got the Beast Wars. I went crazy because I was like, yo, like that's finally. We get to see these characters in this on the big screen. Finally, we get to really like bring these characters to life. Get the opportunity to see them come to life in this way. So as a fan, I was excited, but also as just a person, a part of the project, I was like, yo, that's crazy. That's gonna elevate the story in like a wild way.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Fans are going to go crazy because just like you growing up seeing it on TV, so did I. And to see Beast Wars on the big screen is going to be so massive for all of us. So this question is for both of you. I'll start with you, Steven. Obviously, digging into the Beast Wars franchise, it deals with the rivalry between the Autobots and the Decepticons and those two factions. And in the fandom, there's sort of these metaphors that we have all discussed of what that really means, whether those metaphors are steeped in political roots or whether it deals with class warfare or just simply good versus evil. So for you as a director, or maybe just even an observer of the franchise, where do you see the metaphor lies in the rivalry between these two factions?
Yeah, I mean, to geek out really quick with you, I think I always thought it was slightly more political when it came to Autobots and Decepticons, especially when you dive into like the deep story of Megatron and how he came about and how the Decepticons, the true origin stories of Decepticons. In our case, like in our specific film, I can't spoil it. Oh Jesus, it's more about good and evil. It's definitely more about good versus evil. And part of that is kind of like the time that we sort of face now. You know, coming out of 2020 was a rough year. I actually got a chance to rewrite the script and work on the script like right at the 2020 like mark. And so it was about like seeing good and it prevail, you know what I mean? And have more of an uplifting tone to it all. But overall, I felt like this film is more about if the Autobots and the Maximals could work together to take out a bigger fraction that we haven't seen on screen before, you know what I mean? And it's the Terrorcons, and if fans know where Terrorcons come from, then they know what to expect. But yeah, I feel like we have a lot to unravel because this feels like a true reboot, if you will, into the Transformers franchise. So we're about to see a lot more beyond the Decepticons moving forward. You know, still paying homage, still bringing them in because they're huge. And I have my favorite villains and I have my favorite good guys that I still want to bring into the franchise. But I think it was about branching it out more because it's such a big universe that excites me. And I'm like, every time I watch the cartoons, I'm like, how come we can't bring that into the live action? And so now this is like my opportunity to do that, bring characters that we haven't seen on the screen before in these groups, and connect to their story and the reason why they are. Because I never think there's like a true bad guy, if that makes any sense. Like I feel like everyone has a purpose and a reason. And you'll see in this film what is our bad guys and the Terrorcons' reasons. Damn, it's a crazy way to try to move around this without telling you the plot. But we have a law practice. Can't wait for the movie to come out. We definitely talk about it afterwards. Please put this on the schedule. But yeah, that's what I can say about it. I think it's more so good versus evil and us working together until all are one, you know. So that's really what we're hitting in this film. Yeah.
Yeah. Anthony, what about you? Just as a fan, let's not dig into the movie because we don't want to reveal spoilers. What have you observed? Obviously, you're a fan of the Beast Wars franchise, and that faction between these two groups have been the core of that storyline. What have you observed? What are the metaphors that you took away while watching the series?
I mean, the battle is, you know, the battle between good and evil is beyond just two groups, right? It's not, you know, and I think that's a metaphor for life in the world, right? There's the world, right? There are the forces of evil and then there are forces of good. And it's not just in your own country or in your own neighborhood. It is on a wide spectrum. And the further you travel, and again, like, right, the metaphors of our characters traveling from Brooklyn to Peru, right? These Transformers, these Autobots traveling from, you know, from where they were to Peru to then meet the Maximals, to then encounter the Predacons and the Terrorcons traveling over there and everybody, right? And the battle just widening and widening, right? And us really realizing that this fight to preserve good on Earth, on this planet, you know, is so much bigger than just what we see in front of us in our own lives, you know, and sometimes it takes for us to travel out, you know, and you know, to get a wider perspective on what is going on, you know, in the world, right? But in the case of these characters in our movie, yes, to get a wider perspective on what's going on in the world and what's going on and how potentially how the galaxy can be terminated if these groups that, you know, never encountered each other, they have to come together. They have to figure out a way to work together. And isn't that a metaphor for life, right? Like something extraordinary has to happen in the world. Groups of people who probably, or you know, entities, groups of people in our situation, humans, have to come together, you know, to make extraordinary things happen, you know, to make massive change on Earth, you know. So I think that's how I viewed it, you know, when reading the script and when, you know, when digging in with, you know, Steven and everybody and D.
Indeed. It's amazing how life imitates art, art imitating life, and even the most otherworldly of sci-fi fantasies. And I can't wait to see Transformer Rise of the Beast. Thank you, Steven. Thank you, Anthony, for taking the time to talk to Black Girl Nerds. It was a pleasure speaking to you both.
Much love.
Better shake your booties for Black Girl Nerds. Better shake your booties for Black Girl Nerds.